All right. So today we have a question for you guys again, and this time it's related to personal stories. Recently, or just today, I hung out with a friend and we had a conversation about talking about personal stories and one of the issues I personally have with telling, I guess, two personal stories. And I wanted to ask you guys what you thought of this. So, my personal gripe or a personal problem with telling personal stories that are a bit too personal is that a lot of the times when you tell those stories, it involves a lot of people. People that you're close to or people that you used to be close to. And for me personally, whenever I talk about people in general, which I don't generally really like, whenever I'm talking about people and their mistakes, especially because those are usually the things that kind of like hurt me or where when I learned lessons or when I felt the worst. And like those are the types of stories that I think are worth telling sometimes because they can help other people who are going through something similar. But at the same time, when I do tell or think about those stories, it's like I'm kind of not necessarily gossiping, but I'm kind of painting the other person in a bad light. And of course, I'm not like naming names or actually indicating who that person might be. But if it's a let's say it's someone that actually knows me personally, and they hear me talking about because some of my friends actually do watch my content, which I'm thankful for. Like, thank you if you're a friend of mine and you're watching this. Um, but because of that, like I'm always thinking or like I have in the back of my mind, like I got to be mindful of this. Like I don't want to like tell a story where someone knows who I'm talking about and then information is revealed about that person that wouldn't have been known otherwise. And I want to be like sensitive in that sense to not like reveal that information, especially if the other person doesn't want that information revealed. Even if like that person maybe like to give a more solid example, like let's say that person was like someone I dated back then or someone that was close to me back then, but I don't talk to anymore. I still care about them, and I still don't want to paint them in a bad light, especially if like let's say like all of our friends or mutual friends from back then like hear about it and now see that person in a different way. My friend, when I told him this, was like, most likely most people would not care. Most people would not, because especially if it's a story from way back then, they like everyone's probably moved on and whatnot. So that's a really good point, and I definitely am sort of under that impression a bit more that I shouldn't have to or like I shouldn't worry about this to the extent that I am worrying about it. But it was just something that definitely crossed my mind, especially since there has been at least like one, I think just one video where somebody did feel uncomfortable with like something I either said or showed, and I like wanted to, well, like I asked, I firstly I was like, okay, I can totally remove the video like completely, but after talking about it, they were like fine with it. But so I think because of that experience, I definitely feel a bit more strongly about this, um, especially since, well, from the beginning, like I always like, especially with friends, I always like try to make sure that they're comfortable whenever, like, I might be using some film or something I'm shooting for YouTube. I would like always ask them like, "Are you guys okay with this?" And 90% of people are like totally fine with it, but I think there are those few people who like aren't because for whatever reason and their personal reasons, which is totally fine. But yeah, it's just something I want to continue to be mindful of, but at the same time, like having a very clear answer about this is something I want to just ask you guys about, like if you have like a strong stance. I think for me, the best way to approach it moving forward is to just, like I said, continue to be mindful, but at the same time, like not let it stop me from telling a story that is important to me and that's important for me to express, or if I have that desire to express it, and if that story could potentially help others as well. Um, that's sort of the conclusion I have. But again, like I can definitely see a lot of sides to it. And for me personally, I just in general, I don't like making people I know, especially people I care about, like feel uncomfortable in any way. So that's why sometimes I just try my best to avoid talking about it, like obviously like publicly to YouTube or whatever platform that I might be on in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, like today was a very tiring day, but I'm trying my best to keep up with this camera confidence challenge and actually do it every day, especially since I haven't had the time to stream since, like I keep saying, holidays. It's just really busy. I think by the time this releases, though, like holidays will be over. But I am stacking, or like I sometimes feel like recording a lot in one moment and then I just record a lot instead of like doing it once every day, which which I'm trying to do more of now, because I do feel like when I talked about um, like just doing something daily and then um, like using that as a practice, it feels different compared to like if you spread it out. Like doing something daily is more effective in actually training you to accomplish and get used to what you want. And for camera confidence, obviously that's being like confident on camera and being okay with making mistakes and continuing and so on. Although I will say, I think this was the first time I hit record and stood here, flubbed too many lines at the same time at once in the beginning, that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna restart it because it was the beginning. And yeah, I think that was the first time that's happened, other than that one time I was in Seattle and I forgot to turn on the microphone and then I restarted it. So two times where out of the, I think it's already been 30 days almost for this camera confidence challenge that I started. And only 2 days where I restarted the camera and basically redid everything from there. And it was at the very beginning each time. Other than that, uh, there was this video that I highly debated whether or not I should upload as well, because I think the initial point sort of got lost while I was talking. Again, it was, I just blew a bubble. Again, it was just like a random like spurt of wanting to do a lot of videos. It was when I was wearing that shirt, the white shirt with the dog on it. I think I'll just release it. I haven't checked through it, but honestly, like the whole point of this challenge is to like get used to not performing well. Well, initially to gain camera confidence and to be okay with like uploading stuff that's not necessarily edited, but also it eventually became like me like realizing that the ultimate form of confidence, the ultimate form of like being able to talk on camera without worrying, without being stressed, without needing to be performative, is to like, I don't want to say it is to not care. I don't think that's true necessarily. I think it's more so is to detach yourself in a way. Like don't worry too much and don't put too much weight on it. I still care. I still want this to be a good video in general. I still want to express my ideas properly and the best way I can, but I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to be like panicked or pressured, or like I just want to feel completely at ease and completely like myself without needing anything else, or without needing to worry about anything else. So that is the ultimate form of camera confidence, in my opinion, is when I'm on camera and I can just be completely myself. Even if I'm dead tired right now, even if I make a lot of mistakes, even if like I go on tangents and stuff like that, I just don't worry about it. Just do like talk, let myself just express myself, even if it isn't like the best way I can do it. I blew another bubble. Okay, I think that's about it for this one. We are tired, so we'll just go to sleep. But I just really wanted to try my best to do a video and start doing them like each day instead of like a whole bunch at once and then like scheduling them and being like, okay, yeah, we got one scheduled, so we don't have to do one. And there's also other debate in my head, which is like, should I just like upload multiple if I record multiple in a day, or should I like schedule them like for daily? But then if I keep scheduling it daily, it's just gonna be like a huge like stack that goes into the future. And then what I'm saying now isn't as relevant compared to, like, let's say this video releases like 1 week from now, you know? I don't know. I don't have great answers to that as well at this current moment, and I can't think properly. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Okay, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one.